Good morning, Internet. Uh, I don't use this channel super often. I mainly use it to talk about a particular topic, and it's one of those times. For those of you that don't know, Sony announced that come January 2026, they will no longer be making physical games for new games coming out. Now, they are apparently going to do reprints. Hi, oh hey, Rain Talks podcasts. Thanks for being in here. They're apparently going to do reprints. But I think Sony completely is missing the point of what gaming is all about. And there's been a lot of publicity on this. And I thought by now Sony would have changed their minds and made a public statement about it. But they still aren't, which is insane to me. There's been so much pushback on this. Back in 2013, when Xbox announced that they were getting rid of the used game market, that all of their games will be tied to actual Xbox accounts, and you cannot share games. That got so much pushback that they had to make a response and reverse everything. And I believe they did that in like 29 days. 27 or 29 days, something like that. It hasn't been that long yet. So Sony they have time. They have time to reverse course. But I need a place to vent this. I've talked about this on my Minecraft channel. I've talked about it in Let's Plays, and I don't think it's enough. The PlayStation 6, if it comes out with the plan that they are having, that it will not have a disk drive to play PS6 games, the PS6 is going to be a brick one day when Sony shuts down the servers on the thing, because they will eventually. That thing will become a useless piece of shit. Officially. Now, you could probably mod it to pirate games. I'm pretty against piracy. Fun fact, every single game that I've ever played, I've not pirated. I've not ever pirated a single game. I bought it legally or borrowed it from a friend or whatever. I like having the official copy of things. And that's the way it should be. I like supporting the developer. But when you take away physical games, all that's left over is the digital storefront, which is going to be a monopoly. Sony has complete control over that. Someone else can't make a storefront on PlayStation. Your only option is the PlayStation Store to play on the PlayStation 6. That's it. That's all you have. That is a monopoly over the PlayStation 6. And considering how much of the market that they own for these type of games, it's a monopoly for this type of environment. Xbox isn't doing numbers. Nintendo's doing their own thing. PlayStation feels like they can get away with this because they have their own thing going on. When I buy a game, what am I playing? Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I'm not playing that yet. I'm not playing this yet either. But if I buy a Mario game, I don't even, actually, this is one that I'm borrowing from Rain. If I buy any of these, I own the game, and every single game that's on the PlayStation Store will eventually be taken down. All of them. Sony also announced that they are closing the PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 3 store in July of next year. Now they're closing the stores. What many people haven't talked about that yet is that already there are developers that are pulling their games off of PlayStation Store and PlayStation 3 and Vita now. So yes, the overall store eventually won't be you won't be able to buy anything, but right now publishers are pulling their stuff off of it. So I had to spend like $200 to get all the games that I wanted because they were going to pull it down. And they never brought them to anything else. There's a bunch of games that never went anywhere else. I guess I could show those, but it's been so frustrating. Like I've had a couple weeks to sit on it. What is this? This is a July 19th now, and they made this announcement on the 1st. So we're almost at 3 weeks in, and I've just gotten more angry. I want to be able to have a game that I can give to my child and have them be able to play it and not just have to keep logging into my account. What happens if my account gets hacked and then everything gets deleted, as they did with Microsoft just the other day with somebody that had their account compromised? They just deleted everything, and it's irreversible. Is that the future we want? I'm not interested in that future. If Sony does this, I'm going over to Xbox if they do have a disc drive and they're making physical games, the full game on the disc. For the Xbox Helix or whatever the fuck Xbox is gonna call it. They're gonna call it the Xbox butt plug or whatever they call it. You can never expect exactly what they're gonna call it. It's just gonna be the Xbox X, right? It's just gonna be the Xbox. It's gonna be something stupid. It always is. As long as they're making physical games, I'm gonna go there. If Xbox isn't doing it, then I'm going to fucking Switch. I'm gonna continue to because I have a Switch 2. I'm gonna buy my physical games on Switch 2 because that is the only option. And hopefully Nintendo will be smart enough to keep doing that, having the physical game option. If they eventually get rid of that, I'm going to GOG. What is it? Good old games is what that stands for. Because at least with that, I own the game. They send you the game digitally, but there's no DRM on it. They can't pull it away from you. They can't revoke your license. Or excuse me, they can revoke your ability to like rebuy it or even re-download it. But there's no like account checking. They don't need to check in to make sure that you're authorized to have that copy of the game. You can just have it. You can put on a USB drive, or some people are bringing it to a disc. I don't think I'm going to go that far, unless USB prices go up to stupid amounts. Then maybe, but there's USB drives on computers. They're not disk drives on computers right now. As much as I want one, I don't have one hooked up right now. So I'm probably gonna do that. But I want to own the fucking game, Sony. I don't want to rent it for an extended period of time. I want to own the thing. I bought it. It's mine. You can't take it away. And it's borderline, I would even say it's false advertising when you say buy, but you actually mean rent. That's false advertising. I hope you get suited to oblivion if you do not change your mind. I think you've miscalculated how much digital game sales come from your enthusiast audience that prefers physical. I buy digital games when they are cheaper, or sometimes they are just extraordinarily cheaper. Like there's Gravity Rush 2. That's $180 right now. But on PlayStation Store, I could buy it for $20. I'm not saying to never buy digital ever again, but I'm saying like there is a space for digital, Sony, and there's a space for physical. When I buy a digital game, I want to get Gravity Rush 2, for example. When I buy a digital game like that, I'm buying it on the understanding that if I want to, I can pick up the physical copy eventually. But it's nice to know that I can pay a much cheaper price and get it that way as an option, not as the only way to buy it. I like having the option, but after taking away all the physical games, I'm literally not going to support that. If Rockstar has not changed their mind on the physical release of GTA 6, I still want to support Rockstar, but I'm not going to support Sony's digital-only future. I'm buying that on Xbox because I'm in protest of Sony. I don't want to pay for your digital shit. I just had to pay $200 for digital PS3 shit because it's going away. Games like Far Cry Classic is only available on PlayStation and on PlayStation 3 digitally. That's it. There's no physical copy. I had to buy it there. Call of Duty Classic, the first Call of Duty. If I want to buy it on PlayStation, it's not on anything else. Not on the PS2. It's not on PS3 physically. It's only on there digitally. I have to buy it there. There's no other option. They never ported it. Rain says, I want Gravity Rush 2. Yeah, I want that as well. Gravity Rush 2 is freaking awesome. But like, am I going to pay $180 for it? Maybe one day. Because, like, I would like to have it. But, like, there is a space for digital games to exist. Even now, on the PlayStation 3 store, there is... I just bought Persona 1 on PSP, but I bought it through the PS3 store because you can actually play it on a PS Vita, and you can play it on a PS TV, which means I can do a Let's Play for it. But Persona 1 sells for hundreds of dollars on PS1, and that's the only time it ever came to PlayStation physically, to my understanding. I can't pay for that, and like, especially for a really old game. I think digital is great for a old game that got a new digital re-release. I think that's wonderful because the physical exists, but I can buy it digitally because the original version is old and it gets scratched over time, and eventually the disc will stop working. But like, it's still going to outlive the PlayStation Store because you don't keep it up for that long. PlayStation 3 is going down after 20 years. That's when PS3 is going down. Vita is going down even shorter than that, 15 years. And then PSP, I think, was even shorter than that. I think it was only like 11 years or something like that for PSP. Right? No, I think it was... No. I think that one was slightly longer. What was it? PSP? I don't know when the PSP store came out. But the point is... all these physical games are going to outlive the PlayStation stores, and that's great. So we have an option. Even if it sucks that it's a lot of money, at least that's there. And even when it is a lot of money, I'm still fine with paying it, because then when you show that an old game makes a lot of money, like SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, for a while had a higher price tag, and then they made a remake of it, uh, rehydrated. Whether you want to call it a remaster or a remake, it's a remake, in my opinion. They did a remake of it because it was so popular, and then that caused the price of the original game to come down. And I think it's still important to show current game developers how lucrative bringing back an old game and reprinting it will still make them money, because otherwise they have no reason to bring it back, and then like newer people can enjoy it. I think it's wonderful to have a digital version like that. That's fine. I would love if you did a physical with it. But when I buy digital games, for new games, when I buy digital games, I will do that if I want to own both copies. I did it for The Last of Us Part 2. I always bought the physical copy of Last of Us Part 2, Last of Us Part 1, the remake, and Last of Us Part 2 remastered. I have all of those physically, but also I have them digitally because I love the games that much that I know I'm going to reference them and play them that much that I don't want to have to constantly put in the disc over and over and over again. But I also bought the disc game because I wanted to be able to play it eventually when all this shit gets shut down. And Sony going in the direction of making it harder and harder to have that future really sucks. I wish they would have had, and this, I know they're not doing this now, but I wish a long time ago they would have had a better stand on, you cannot have a game key card as a disc. You got 100 gigabyte disc. You can absolutely fit the whole game on there. You don't need a few kilobytes on there. Absolutely unacceptable for like Call of Duty that does that. Disgusting. I wish they would have slammed down on that, but nope, that kept happening. And then the original PS5 is good forever because you can never take out that disk drive. But on the new PS5s, where there's an optional disk drive, if you disconnect that disk drive and connect it back, it has to authenticate online. It has to. If it does not, or one day when you try to and the server shut down and can't authenticate, you are out of your digital or physical library for good. You are. And so I have a PS5 Pro right now, and I have the understanding that is a temporary console, and that eventually will be a brick. Eventually. As long as the CMOS battery doesn't die or something gets corrupted or whatever, and the PlayStation Store is down, all that would have left over are the physical games for that PS5 Pro, as long as I never have to re-authenticate the disk drive. If the disk drive breaks, then, well, I'm fucked then, because then I can't do anything. And that's why I want to keep my original PS5, because I know at least on that thing for sure, I can play all my PS5 games. So it already sucks right now that the PS5 Pro is in this position where it could eventually be a brick one day. I sure as hell hope that they do some kind of end-of-life update that allows people to swap the disk drive, and it doesn't need an online authentication to do that. All this reminds me of the Angry Joe video about Xbox back in 2013, and he had so many good points on that video. Oh man, like basically everything he said then, like bring it to today. Like, yeah, could I go to PC? I could, but I'd rather not. Like, I'd rather buy games for the fucking PlayStation. And I've been a PlayStation loyalist for so long. Since my first console was PS2, and I loved it so much I bought PS1 just for fun. I got the PS3 right away, and then PS4. even faster. I bought PS4 like a week after, or 2 weeks after it came out. Then PS5, I got it launch day, which was very hard to do. I've been doing this my whole time, and before that, I played on PC. And it's not the console or the brand that I'm attached to, Sony, and I think that they think the brand is just so strong that people are just going to buy it anyways. The that's not the case. I will go to where I can own the games. And if I can't go anywhere to own the games, then I guess I'm going to have to sail the seven seas because I want to own the game. I will pay however much money for it. If Gravity Rush 2, the only way to play it is $180 and you get rid of the digital version, guess what I'm paying for? I'm paying that money. As a fan of 3D Blu-ray, me and other 3D fans have been down this rabbit hole where it was available everywhere, and then they went more and more away. But even to this day, and a lot of them have to sail the seven seas because there are a lot of 3D movies that don't get disc prints anymore. Or there's people that will just get the 2D version, rip it, and then make a 3D version of that themselves. And and even right now, there is still new 3D movies coming out. Rain and I just had to split the cost of the Deadpool and Wolverine in 3D because it was $90. But guess what? We'd still pay that over the 2D version, or just not owning it. We want to own that. And we can pass that down, and that disc is going to be around as long as that disc is around. That's what we want to fucking own things, Sony. It's not just physical media. If you did a thing like GOG, when I buy a game, I can just put it on a USB drive, it's going to fucking work. If you did that, you know what? I will embrace the digital future. That's fine. But not the current iteration that you have where it's there's DRM everywhere, and if I can't connect to the internet, there's a lot of times or sometimes the server shut down or whatever that I cannot authenticate the games that I own. I cannot play them even if they're downloaded on my thing, and everything should be working, and it just doesn't. That happened not too long ago. There was a big scare because PSN went out and people were locked out of their fucking digital library. So you're telling me that the PS6 that we can look forward to is one where it only works when you feel like it? No. We want to fucking own shit. When Sony came out on stage in 2013 and they announced to the world that PS4 supports discs, it was, quote, that when a gamer buys a PS4 disc, they have the rights to use that copy of the game. They can trade in the game at retail, sell it to another person, lend it to a friend, or keep it forever. Quote PlayStation 2013. That's what we want to do. Did you forget that part? Then Andrew House from PlayStation continues later on saying that true consumer trust and consumer ownership are essential to everything that we do. Okay, Sony, you're saying that. Let me own the thing. I can buy this. And I can keep it. And I can sell it. If your game sucks, I want to get rid of it. I don't want it in my fucking library if your game is shitty. I want to get some money back. I'm not saying that Bayonetta is shitty. But give me the option. When you have a digital purchase, it's locked to your account forever. You cannot get rid of it. What are you going to do? Sell your account? You could do that. I'm not even sure if that's against terms of service. I think it's only supposed to be for you. Oh my god! And then there's kind of ways to get around it with game sharing, but that's not allowed. So there's no real way to do this legally as far as the buying and selling and lending and trading of games, at least Nintendo has a better policy. If you get a digital game, you can lend it to somebody. You just have to be have the Switches next to each other because it's like handing it to a person. They just want to like they don't want you to send it all over the internet. Fair. And so I think what Nintendo's doing is great. The thing with Nintendo though is they also suck with keeping the digital storefronts open and whatnot. I don't expect it to last forever. They could also update the terms of service and just say that, oh yeah, if you haven't logged in after a little while, we're just going to delete every game you've ever bought. Now, that was in their end user license agreement only for the European Union. And that's not Sony's fault, to my understanding, according to Mystic Ryan. That is a rule that the EU has that they, I think the law is like right to forget. That every like tech company, if you stop using their service, you have the right for them to automatically erase your data. So that's in there just for the EU, just so PlayStation is able to adhere to that, and that's why that's in there. And they also notify you and everything. Okay, that's fine if you live in the EU and you like that. And that's not the case in the United States. So for us, as of right now, the user license agreement is that it stays in our library. Cool. But they could just update it and say, no, if you haven't logged in 3 years like they do in the EU, all your shit gets deleted. All of it. Your account's gone. Every purchase you had, it's gone. It's irreversible. Like, what the fuck? I thought that there was a scare because I thought that was just for all of them. And I know my sister hasn't logged into her PSN in like 3 years, and she has digital games. And I'm like, so you're saying that like her whole digital library is gone? But again, thankfully, that's not the case for the United States. But holy shit. Like, why even get rid of the disc? Because like the thing that's really stupid about, there's so many levels of stupidity here. So no discs for new games, but they said that they will have an in-person retail presence. And we know that GTA 6 is just going to be a disc in a box. So you're saying that when I go to GameStop, instead of the 5, it's going to be a 6. I'm going to see a PS6 game on the shelf in a box with a code in it. So if that's the case, they're not saving any money from not distributing the games, because an argument is like, oh, well, if they just have digital, they save a whole lot of money. They don't have to ship games to GameStop and all that, and it helps the developer a whole lot more. Okay, then, if that was the case, then why are they still having the case when you go to GameStop? So they're still going to be manufacturing, they're still going to be shipping all of these. It's just not going to have one extra piece of plastic that has the fucking game on it. It's just this. So if you're already going through the effort to put games on store shelves, but they're just digital codes in it and not the actual disc in there, you're not really saving any money, are you? This is just to control. So it's extra bullshit. I think at this point you guys already know that this is super bullshit. The thing that I think Sony miscalculated on is the target demographic for what the PS6 is going to be and what the what the PS5 Pro is right now. The PS5 Pro right now is a $900 console with no disc drive. You have to buy that separately, and you have to buy the stand separately because you can't stand it up without a stand because it falls over, I guess. Stupid. Anyway, so already over $1,000 for that, easy, and that's before tax. Altogether, it's probably like what, $1,100. PS5 Pro with a disc drive and the stand and tax. That's like $1,100 because when I bought the PS5 Pro at launch, it was $700, and with the disc drive, with the stand and all the tax, it was just shy of $900. So if you're factoring in all the tax and everything, it's going to be $1,100. Right now it's $1,100. So the PS5 Pro is $1,100 to get the disc drive and everything like that. Some people are saying that they're thinking that the PS6 is going to have a disc drive for backwards compatibility. That's the bare minimum, but even then, that doesn't solve the issue. They could still just print games for PS5 and not for PS6. I would still be pissed and still be making a rant video over that, but not even that. I think if they did that, they would see people would just be buying PS5 games and like, nope, we don't want them to just be buying PS5 games. We want to force them into the PS6. All games are digital. You have no option. If you're sticking with PlayStation, you have to buy a digital so it works on your PS6, so it's backwards compatible. So that big sucks. As of right now, if there is no disc drive option, no backwards compatibility thing for PS6, I'm not buying it. If they maybe make a compromise right now, which we're still going to be mad about, but if they're like, okay, PS6, it's a digital console, but you will have a disc drive to play your PS4 and PS5 games, I will buy that to at least play the enormous back catalog of PS4 and PS5 discs that I have in higher resolutions and whatnot for the same reason I have the PS5 Pro, right? That's fine. For that, I will buy that, but I'm not buying your stupid digital games. Under the condition that there isn't a disc. If you have a disc, if Sony and Rockstar work out a thing where the Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out on disc, I will buy that game twice. I'm telling you, I will buy it digitally and I'll buy it physically. If you do not make it physical on PS5, I'm not buying it on PlayStation, period. I'm buying it on Xbox in protest. Like, I've been so upset for so long, for almost 3 weeks now over this, that even now I'm having a hard time like putting my words together just on how angry I am. Okay, so the thing that I'm saying that Sony miscalculated on, the only people that are going to buy this stupidly expensive console that's going to like right now we're thinking maybe it's going to be $999 at the cheapest, and then the higher end one is going to be like $1,200, $1,300, $1,500. We have no idea how much it's going to be, but that is going to be an enthusiast console. And your enthusiast market, buys discs. So if your enthusiast market, if you're not delivering to them how they want to play their games, no one's going to buy your fucking PS6. No one's going to buy it. Who do you think wants to buy it? It's way too much money when I can just have a PC. I have a PC right now that I'm streaming on. There's so many more benefits to PC. As much as I don't want to admit it, there are way more benefits to PC. For the same amount of money, if I'm paying $1,500 for a PS6, I can take that money and buy another PC with it. I can buy a Steam machine with it, which maybe I will, because that's a console-like version of a PC. Yeah, I can use a controller on the Steam machine. It will play like a console. Yes, there's digital games, but at least on Steam, you can lend people. You can just straight up game share, and they're fine with that. And it's not just locked to one person. Just anyone's computer you log into, they have access to your library on Steam. They have way better refund policy. You could play a game up to 2 hours, and if you don't like it, you get a refund. What other storefront allows you to do that? None. Not even physical allows you to do that. You buy the game, it's done. You don't like the game, too bad. Yeah, you can sell it back and get some money back, but on Steam, you get a full-ass fucking refund if you do not like the game in 2 hours after playing it. And there are some games that are shorter than 2 hours, and people beat the whole game and then sell it back. I think that is a little bit of abuse of power. Or make your game longer than 2 hours. You know? That's Steam. But the fact that the Steam machine can run Windows as well, it's a full-on PC. I can install GOG on the Steam machine. I can connect a mouse, I can connect a keyboard, I can do OBS on the Steam machine. I can connect a camera, I can do this on the Steam machine. Can you take that on a PS6 and do that? Not without all the other accessories. Like you could like do the streaming and stuff, but I can't put OBS on it, I can't put GOG on it. Nope, it's just the PlayStation Store. That's it. Digital only, and you have access to it for as long as they feel like it. Sony just revoked 551 movies off of the PlayStation Store that people bought with their hard-earned money, no refunds, nothing. They took their money, fuck you, go away. And it's just bad news after bad news after bad news. I think that if Sony doesn't reverse their decision, I can't imagine how they're going to make enough money to sustain their business. Games cost like what I think like the average game now costs like $200 million like per game to make. So, and PS5 is doing wonderfully. They've made more money during the PS5 generation, more than any other generation. So they are in the most arrogant mode they've ever been. Yeah, PS3 was rough, it being a $600 console, but at least that was a good console, and what was able to make up for the PS3 having it be so expensive was that it was a good console and eventually did get exclusives and everything. It was able to redeem itself. What's the perks of the PS6? It's just a worse PS5 because I can't own my games on it? Who's gonna buy it? What redemption story can possibly happen on the PS6 unless you're giving it a disk drive and printing games for it? And that should be the bare minimum. How is the PS6 going to redeem itself? I don't think it can. If you are not bringing discs back, it's stupidly expensive, so a stupidly small portion of your market is going to buy it. Everyone else is going to move on. Everyone else already has a Switch 2. They're going to play on that. They're going to buy physical games on that. The enthusiasts are going to buy physical games on that. If Xbox does a thing, oh my god, Sony, you're fucked. Everyone else that wants like really high resolution gaming will buy an Xbox because like me who's a console person, I would rather buy any fucking console than a PC. I really would. I want to be able to sit down, grab a game, put the disc in the disc drive and play the fucking game, and that's it. I don't want to have to sit down and like go through all the troubleshooting of every fucking game that I buy. I don't want to do it. If I have to, that's my only option, I will. But fuck Sony. I'm not buying your digital future. I've been here for so long. Ray and I have been cataloging all the games that we own. And I haven't even counted it. There's literally, I'm pretty sure, well over 1,000 games that we own all together. And that's just the physical ones. I know I have some digital, but almost everything that I have digitals is from PlayStation Plus, by the way. I don't buy digital very often. I have been getting more into it recently, just because up until recently, I felt like I can trust Sony. I was buying digital games on the non-verbal agreement that, well, as long as you're going to have a physical version that I could buy one day, then I'm fine with buying digital for now because it's so much cheaper that I still like to play it. For me, it's almost like a kind of a trial to see like, okay, The digital version, by the way, I'll only buy a digital game if it's significantly cheaper than the physical version. And it's like on sale or something. Um, so I buy a digital game for like $5. Maybe the physical game's like $30. I think that's fine, right? So I'll like buy the digital as a trial for me to see, do I want to own this physically? Do I want to spend the extra money to own it physically? And if I do, then I will, because I can. But that's not meant to be a, oh, he would prefer digital. No, I would prefer physical. There are just sometimes sales that are better. So I'm buying digital on the agreement that you also offer physical. If you're not offering physical, I'm not buying digital. I'm not buying. And a lot of your player base is going to do the same thing. It was so fast for Xbox to completely ruin their reputation among gamers forever. It wasn't even a full month before they had to change their mind, and even then it was too late. They lost everybody's trust. If you reversed your decision, Sony, you could get some people back, but I'm sure there's probably already some people that are like, fuck y'all. Even now, I'm really spooked to buy anything digital to make you think that I want that. Now knowing that you used that as your metric of, so there's more digital sales, so we're just going to discontinue physical games. I'm already on the, I'm not buying digital anymore. Holy shit. Like, you fucked that up so bad. And here's the future. If somehow Sony gets away with this, there's no fucking way they are. If Sony somehow gets away with this, then everything goes all digital. You know what's coming next, right? It's everything goes cloud. Then you own fucking nothing. And then every single game is just going to be streamed to you, and you don't even need a PlayStation that can actually run the game. It's just all going to be streaming. They own the games 100%. And if they lose their licensing, you don't get to play it anymore, period, because at least with digital, if they lose the license, at least the digital is still sitting there, and sometimes it's unable to ever be downloaded again. So you better make sure you have backups, like PT, for example. I'm so scared that like one day my PS4 is gonna like shit the bed, and then I won't be able to ever play PT ever again, because you cannot download that game anymore. What the fuck, Sony? I cannot believe we're in this position. I don't know who's going to buy your system. I don't understand how you think you can get away with this. It's way too expensive. Very little people are going to buy it in the first place, even if it had a disk drive. You took out the disk drive, and then said no more physical games. That's just making everyone say fuck PlayStation. How do you, like, that reputation is gonna fuck you? Like, you're not gonna, how, like, I don't know how much money you think you're gonna be making from that, unless you're planning to go out of business and you want to, like, speed run that. Then congratulations, you're speed running going out of business. Because Sony's really good at creating divisions that go nowhere, and then shut all down. The thing with this, though, that doesn't make any sense, even if they wanted to speedrun destroying themselves, all of Sony is held up by PlayStation because their other divisions are not making them enough money. PlayStation is the one thing holding all of Sony up. If PlayStation falls, Sony completely will go out of business forever. So I don't know why you want to gamble on PlayStation to fuck things up so badly. It doesn't make any sense to me that you're willing to do this risk. How is from that market of the few people what is it? I think it's like 75% of PS5 sold are the disc PS5. So 1/4 of your customer base is like, I'm just fine with having digital. Okay, then. I know a lot of those people. In fact, people that I can confirm to be real, I don't know a single one of them that is like, that's not saying, yeah, I wish I bought the physical version. Every single person I know that bought the digital PS5, especially the ones that cannot get a disc drive on it, the original one, all regret it. All of them. Every single one that I know personally. They all regret it. They wish they got a PS5 that had the disc option because they want to be able to trade and lend games, and they can't. They are fucked to the PlayStation Store. That's their only way to get games. And they hate it. At least with the disc console, you can get both digital and physical games. It doesn't lock people out of using physical. So already you have 1/4 of people that might want to buy a PS6. That at least at the beginning is fine with saying, "Oh yeah, I'm fine with not having a disc drive." So that's already 1/4 the customer base. And then on top of that, the digital PS5 was $399 at launch, $400. This thing is going to be what? 3 times that amount? I know it's probably going to be less than this, but let's just say 1/3 of the people are willing to spend that much money on that. I think it's going to be way less. Maybe even 1/10 or maybe even 1/100th. The console's too expensive. I think at this point you just cancel the PS6. Just say fuck it. We're doing PS5. We're gonna keep doing discs because I think there's like 93 million PS5s out there right now. That's plenty, and it's still selling because it has a disc drive. And you want to make money from the games because that's the whole point of selling the system at a loss or selling it to break even, is to make all the money back on the games. You should just cancel the PS6. I like trying to force people over to an all digital future. I know you put a stupid amount of money into research and development for PS6, but if this is the way it's going to go, and you're just cutting off PS5 too and PS4 because they're still printing PS4 games. If you're just cutting off new games to the PS5 as well, you're fucked. No one's gonna buy anymore. It's all and since you're only gonna be doing like reprints of old games, everyone's just gonna buy used. I don't understand how you think that and this is my conservative estimate. At best, 1/12, because 3 times 4, right? And I know that's not really how the math works, but let's say at best 1/12 of your customer base is still there, and they're buying digital games at full price. They're probably not going to buy a lot of them because they have to now spread out that money because your games are now $80 and they're not going on sale because there's no reason to. There's no competitor of a disc that people can go back and forth on. When I see this at the store and it is if it's more expensive at the store, then I will buy a digital game. But if there's no option for it, I'm just not buying it. So I don't understand how you think this is going to make enough money. Like, this is for sure going to fuck over your business so bad. I think you're gonna like if they actually go through with this, and release PS6, no disk drive, and everything. The sales are gonna be so bad. They're gonna see the writing on the wall, and they're gonna be like, "Holy fuck!" Okay, discs need to come back, and they're gonna make a disk drive that's gonna like connect externally, and they're gonna be like, "Okay, we're making discs again." I think even that's gonna be too late. But let's say they do that. I would come back. But um, I would imagine that like that's what they would have to do because they're not. There's no way they're going to be making enough money to support $200 million budget games. Like, how is Naughty Dog going to make The Last of Us Part 3 with that few people buying? Who's gonna pay for it? Who's gonna pay for the development of Last of Us Part 3? Hey, there's no way they're gonna do this, but make Last of Us Part 3 a launch title. That would be quite incentivizing. But even then, like I don't think a lot of people are gonna buy it. I probably would because I love The Last of Us. That'd probably be the one game that I would ever do that with. But like I would buy the whole ass console just for The Last of Us, and my physical copy of The Last of Us would just be just the PS6. That's it. And then like that's all it would be. But no, even then, I would probably also be like, yeah, but you're gonna go out of business because you're selling so few, and like the expense of making PS6 is going to be so high. The games that are in development, I don't see the future where you're gonna survive if you do this. Even just having the PS6, let's say it has a disc drive and they're making PS6 physical games. Even when we thought that was the reality, it was still really iffy. Just on a $1,200 console, how many people are going to buy that? It's going to be rough. At least the enthusiast people will buy it, like me, if it was $1,200. And then eventually RAM prices would get better, and then they could bring down the price, and then it could become more affordable for a mass market. I thought that was the direction it was going to go. And I know it was going to be rough, but like I think they would be able to get through it. Without a disc drive and without your enthusiasts buying it, I don't see you surviving after this generation. I think the PS6 would be the last generation of PlayStation, and then that's it. I think they would lose so much money that Sony would be forced to sell off all their major first-party studios. Naughty Dog would have to become a third-party developer, or they would sell to Nintendo, maybe. I don't know. Maybe to GOG, that'd be great. But and then you got Sucker Punch. You got Santa Monica. Sony has so many studios. They would have to sell them just to get ready to just become a third-party developer altogether. And then, because the PS6 is going to be the last PlayStation, and then if Sony goes out of business, do you think they're going to uphold the PlayStation Store for you to keep buying your digital games for PS6 after they go out of business? Do you think they're going to keep having up the servers for you to re-download games on PS6? No. That thing's going to be a fucking brick. It's going to turn into a useless piece of shit one day when they go out of business. If it was Microsoft, I think that's different, because Microsoft is not... They don't have all their eggs in one basket with Xbox. They have Windows, and they are so on top of the world with that. Microsoft is not going away anytime soon. And even if they were to shut down Xbox, have Xbox become a third-party developer, I would imagine that they would still be able to keep the lights on, have you buy and download games for a while. Definitely download for quite a while, because at least that is that's Microsoft's reputation. After that, the lights would still be on. Xbox would still be around for a long time. I don't think PlayStation would. What would be holding PlayStation up? Their movie division? Their phones? No. They would go out of business. If PlayStation fails, Sony is done. They are not upholding any of that shit. They don't give a fuck. They'd shut all that shit down. They'd sell all their third-party developers. And I'm fine with that, because if Naughty Dog goes third-party, they're making Last of Us Part 3, and it's going to be on Switch 2, it's going to be on Xbox, it's going to be on the Steam machine, it's going to be on GOG. I better be on GOG. I'll buy it on GOG. Unless there's a physical copy for Switch 2. Then I'll buy the physical copy for Switch 2. Last of Us on Switch 2 would be great. No, yeah. There's no way. I think Sony forgets, like, this domino effect. And so many people have said this already, that straight up, I don't think they put much thought into this. I think they looked at the numbers and like, this is how many physical sales are happening, and then here's all the digital. Well, digital is making more money. Why don't we just have the next console be all digital? That would make us more money. Yeah, let's do that. And then everyone will just buy digitally. It won't be a big deal to them. I really think that's like as many brain cells as they used on this. The long-term ramifications of this, there are domino effects that happen to this. Sony needs to change their mind and make an announcement yesterday. I cannot believe, how is this not obvious enough to them to change course now? It's extra insulting that they're just pretending that none of this is happening. It could be, even if they don't know the solution yet, even if they're like, fuck, well, we already, like, we're planning on getting rid of our disc manufacturing warehouse and everything. So we would have to like figure something out with that. Even if they don't know how they're going to do it, they should have at least just made the announcement. We heard you loud and clear. We're going to make sure PS6 will have a disc drive, and it's going to get new games. New games will continue to be printed on discs for the foreseeable future. They'll probably have to say that. But realistically, I don't think it should ever end. I don't think it should ever end you owning the things you bought. That should never end. And it won't on GOG. If PS6 comes out, if Sony really sticks to this, it's so catastrophic that I can't imagine the CEO that's still there is going to stay there. I think they would have to fire him, get somebody new in, and they're going to be like, discs are great. The same thing happened with Xbox. Xbox announcement in 2013 was the biggest pushback I've seen in my entire life. And now this is bigger than that. How Sony has now already made an announcement is blowing my mind more and more every day as this goes on. They're really trying to act like, oh no, yeah, this is it's fine. No, there's no way. They're gonna be so fucked. It's gonna come out, sell terribly. They might do an artificial scarcity thing where there's only so many, so they'll be like, it's sold out everywhere. It's like, bro, you only made like 1,000, so of course it's gonna sell it everywhere. They might do that, but then people are going to realize there's no games for it. Yeah, because right now, every single day, every time PlayStation posts about a game, it's coming to PlayStation. 100% of the comments on Twitter or on YouTube are "fuck you, bring the disc back." All of them say that, and it's like, as a game developer, do you really want your game, its publicity, to just be anger that it's not on a disc? Even when the games are on the disc, like Wolverine, there's still people really mad. So, it really doesn't matter. They're just getting shit on the whole time. PlayStation lives and dies on people buying games. So if all the game publishers are pissed at Sony and they're going to be like, you know what? Fuck it. We're not publishing on PlayStation this time. We're definitely not publishing on PlayStation 6. It's not going to sell. We're definitely publishing on Nintendo and Xbox and Steam and GOG, especially. I think that's what's going to happen. A bunch of game developers are going to leave. Sony will have just its first party left over, and they're going to try to pump out as many exclusives as they can. And then they're going to realize no one's buying this shit. And then it's going to be too late. They're going to be like, holy fuck, we spent all this money in these games and we're not getting the money back. Sony has deep pockets right now from the PlayStation 5 generation. That won't last if this is what's happening. They will be losing so much money. There's a lot of analysts that are like, oh, they'll be fine. I don't think so. It's too expensive, and you're saying fuck you to your enthusiasts, or who would be the people who bought it. So who is your target demographic? The enthusiasts that are digital only people? Who has a PS5 Pro without a disc drive? For real. I don't know of anyone that has a PS5 Pro and does not also have a disc drive for it. Maybe you can tell me of some, but the people who are enthusiasts bought the PS5 Pro because they're enthusiasts, and they bought a disc drive for it. So, who is your target demographic? Your extremely small enthusiasts who only buy digital? That's not enough to make enough money back to justify Last of Us Part 3 or Spider-Man 3 or whatever the fuck exclusive that you have. They will have to reverse course or go out of business. And if they're going out of business, the PS6 is going to be a brick. It's going to be a useless piece of shit one day. That's it. Unless anything changes, fuck PS6. If Xbox Helix has a disc drive and they're making new games on that thing, buy the new Xbox. Buy a Switch 2. There's physical games coming to there. If you don't want any of those, use GOG. Only use GOG. GOG is going to explode because it's getting the reputation that is the place to buy your games. So that's it. I'm shocked I even had to make this video because I was expecting this to all be turned around by now, and Sony has lost their minds. I don't know when they're going to reverse course. Like I said, they're going to have to, or just go out of business. I don't think the exclusives that they have are going to be enticing enough to buy a PlayStation after all this. I think a lot of people would rather just them go out of business, sell the first party studios, have them become third party, and then have them deliver their favorite games to whatever platform they choose. That's what would happen. So, Yeah, there's no way they're not reversing course. They have to, or they're going to go out of business. But the good thing is, if they go out of business, we're still going to get Last of Us Part 3. It's just going to be by whoever buys it. Um, yeah, it just sucks that Sony has to learn this the hard way. Um, they should have reversed decision yesterday. But we'll see what happens at the end of the month. A full month goes by. That means they ignored it longer than Xbox did, which PlayStation normally does. But PlayStation, in their history, even relatively recently, they will listen to a very loud crowd, um, especially people that want to give them their money. So that's like when they did the reversal of shutting down the PlayStation 3 and Vita stores. So um, I expect announcement is imminent soon. If it's not soon, and they are really waiting for GTA 6 to come out, see how that does, and then having pre-orders go up for PS6, they're gonna know then that no one's buying their fucking brick. And when they realize that, and that's when Xbox kind of realized that, I think that's when they decided they have to reverse course. Unfortunately for Sony, I don't think that's going to be enough time to have them make a manufacturing facility to continue making discs before launch. So they would have to make an announcement that, okay, look, we heard you. We're going to bring discs back, but they're going to come on next year because we don't have the infrastructure ready for that yet. I feel like in my opinion, I feel like that's the latest time they will reverse course is when it's hitting their wallet and they're seeing the pre-order numbers for the PS6 is significantly underperforming. Again, to me, it's already batshit crazy. They didn't already make a response and reversal. So we'll just take it even further. Let's say PS6 launches, no disk drive, no one's buying the games. They're uber fucked because the system's already out now. They would have to fire the CEO and they're gonna be like, okay, discs are coming back. We just need to like, we're not ready for this infrastructure quite yet. So yeah, there will be some discs probably because that one manufacturing plant was still planning to do reprints for a while. So there would still probably be some discs. That's probably going to be in very low supply, and they're going to be really expensive. And then, you know what? You might as well buy new then, because it's probably going to be the cheapest way to get your games. Because after that, if there's a very low supply, you know it's going to go up and up and up, just like Nintendo does. Which, by the way, I don't understand like why PlayStation just didn't do that. Nintendo does this artificial scarcity thing, which I think is anti-consumer. But if it means that they're going to keep physical games around, then I'm all for it. They like undermake the amount of games that they should, and so they sell out all the time, and then they barely make enough to like just under meet demand. And so because of that, Nintendo games never go down in price, even when they're out of print or about to be out of print. They just keep making more and more and more and more money, and they stay at full price, even used. They barely ever go down because Nintendo knows how to do artificial scarcity, and they make sure there's not too many of Mario parties out on the market because then it's oversaturated and there's low demand. Why doesn't Sony will probably have to learn to do that, whether the good way or the hard way. after that, let's say after PS6 launches, they have the manufacturing plant shut down or only do reprints, and it's like a year later, and they still haven't reversed course. Um, I think it's gonna be. I think they would be super super fucked by then, but I'm sure they probably would have released a PlayStation exclusive within the first year. They gotta release at least some. And when that happens, and they see no one's buying it. They're gonna be mega fucked. And I think that would be another time to reverse course. Say there will be discs, we just have to print them, and then sell you a disc drive. Uh, yeah. I just can't. I can't. Sony is pretty stubborn, but they're not unmovable. At least not like Nintendo is. Nintendo would go out of business and do so with a smile as long as they got their way. Sony's not quite like that. They're stubborn as fuck, but they will budge. They do eventually. They did with Spider-Man when they were losing a lot of money, and Disney was offering a lot of money to get into the MCU, and they eventually budged and let him in. Sony can change their mind on big things that before they would rather just go out of business while keeping the property of like Spider-Man, for example, because they'll never sell Spider-Man ever. I can't imagine a scenario where Sony would go to the grave on this decision. On we're just only gonna have digital. That's it. And if we go out of business, we go out of business. I can't see that happening. Money does influence PlayStation a lot, and I think when they see the numbers, see the actual pushback, because right now they're not seeing it right now. The PS6 isn't for sale right now. But when they see the numbers, I would say, like I said, pre-order time. In my mind, that's the latest that they would not reverse. Make an announcement to then reverse course. Soonest tomorrow. They need to make a statement soon if they want their PR to not be completely dead forever. But even this announcement, let's say they bring all the discs back and everything. People are going to be buying way more discs right now. I think they even are right now. I know I am. They're going to see the uptick in physical sales because of all this. People are going to be very uncomfortable with digital sales moving forward. Again, even if the discs come back and everything. And then I think we would have found our bottom to how low physical sales could be. And then it's going to either stay the same or it's going to go back up. So, digital future, I know it's the one that Sony wants. And again, it's not impossible if they had better business practices, but the fact is they don't. They're not going to pull a GOG. If they did, okay, I'll embrace your digital future, Sony. But they're not going to. They really want to say, fuck you, give me money. And the domino effect of what happens because of this, I can't imagine there's going to be many game publishers that want to publish on this thing. And they're not going to be able to afford to make new games and make money and stay in business. And because of all that, going to the grave also means for the digital storefront of PS6 is that it's just going to be a brick. So I think now I'm talking in circles. You get the point. I wanted to get my thoughts out on this. thoughts out. Yeah. So there you have it. Buy physical. Do not buy digital. And vote with your wallet. Tell Sony that's what you want. If they still haven't reversed the decision by the time GTA 6 comes out, get it on Xbox. Don't support PlayStation's digital future. I would rather them get the message sooner rather than later so they can fix things. But they're going to get the message at some point. There's no way otherwise. So, anyways, there you guys are. That's my rant. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you very much. And until next